Ooh, hey, what is going on, guys? I want to be particularly careful catching this one because this box is so nice. I love the look of this box here for Kotobukiya's new Steel Haze model kit here. So this is a part of their variable infinity over to scale line, kind of like a new line, as I understand it, of non-scale Armored Core model kits that they're coming out with. So these are going to be larger than kind of, I guess, the Armored Core model kits that they've been coming out with in the past, which are kind of those ones. I've built a number of them. They're kind of, the size varies wildly because I guess, you know, Armored Cores are of different sizes. But this one I'm expecting to be something comparable to like a 1/100 scale Gundam kit in terms of the size of it, maybe even a little bit larger. Of course, Bandai has their 30 minutes missions version of the Steel Haze, which I've not actually built, but that one's going to be, of course, smaller than this. This is bigger, more parts, and as you can see, a big box here too, and just a really very nice looking box, I have to say. So we'll take a look around the box, then we'll check out everything inside and get into the review. Let's start. And so yes, aside from this awesome box art here, which is a kind of like matte finish, but then the picture itself is kind of glossy there, so that looks really cool. You have like this big Steel Haze text in the background, Armored Core 6 logos and everything here on the front. On the ends of the box, it's going to look the same there, with it once again being glossy for the illustration, a matte finish for the rest. On the sides of the box, we have a front and back image of the kit all built up here, and then of course assemble parts where it's broken down into sections for the head, core, arm units, weapons, and everything here like so. Flipping it around to the other side, we have some detail images here and an action pose. We also have the unpainted state, exactly how that's going to look just straight out of the box, which honestly it looks really nice. And the MSRP for this one coming in at 15,500 yen. A big box and a big kit like this coming in at a big price, not necessarily too surprising. There is a lot of stuff in here, and we'll take a look through the runners momentarily. But first, just to check out the instruction manual here, which has a really cool photo of the kit there on the front. Again, really nice design and layout here for this. Ooh, the inside pages also looking very cool there, with a nice big like full fold out kind of centerfold image here. Super cool. On the front inside page here, once again, just kind of a breakdown of the assemble parts and a few more images over here showing some different options and some of the gimmicks here, like for example, the weapon gimmick there, the gimmick of these parts at the back. Hopefully that's just like an easy part swap to get that and not like a bunch of parts that you have to swap. Hopefully just like one section that you can easily replace. We'll find out momentarily, and then the weapon there as well. On the next couple of pages, we're getting into the parts list, and after that into the construction. So it looks like it's going to be pretty standard Kotobukiya style instructions here. Nothing too crazy, nothing too noteworthy, I don't think. Once we're through to the second half of the manual, through the legs and weapons and everything else here. Yeah, it does look like that kind of backpack section is just going to be a whole section that we're going to be very easily able to just swap out like that. So that's good news, definitely. There's a little bit more about like the weapon gimmicks and all that. Once we get to the very end here, it's going to be our color and decal guide. I don't expect we have a lot of decals with this, because normally we just kind of don't with a lot of Armored Core kits, but mostly color guide there. That's all laid out for you. It's all in Japanese, but if you want to refer to that, you can. And yeah, as expected, the waterslide decal sheet is very small, just basically 3 little logos there, which is nice to have, but yeah, don't expect a whole lot when it comes to caution markings or anything else like that. Getting into the runners then, our first few runners are all in this very nice blue color, which is kind of like the main armor color. Here's runner A, runner B here. You can see we do just have a ton of really nice detail there on the armor. Runner C is a smaller runner here. Looks like mostly parts for the head there on that runner. So it'll be interesting to see how these are segmented just in terms of like parts of the build. Here's runner D there as well. Runners E and F are a couple of larger runners here in this really nice kind of brownish gunmetal kind of color there. It looks really cool. Runners G and H here, and some more armor pieces in gray, but this is actually a really interesting color. It looks like just kind of dark gray, but when you look close, you can actually see it is actually a metallic injected gray as well. So kind of like a metallic dark gray color there. It looks really cool. Runner I is a couple more little parts on there. Runner J as well, a few more small parts. Runner K is some more dark gunmetal parts here. And the same thing here for runner L, which we have 2 of there. I think those are the parts for the feet, it looks like. And then we're into our frame parts, which are all going to be in this really nice kind of molded gold. It's like a darker, duller, not like a super bright gold or anything, but here's runner M, runner N there as well, runner O, and then runner P looks to be like a lot of hand parts there. Then we've got some smaller runners here for runner Q, runner R there, again, just a couple of little bits, and runner S we also have 2 of here. Runner T we also have 2 of, and then runner U we have 2 of there as well for the rest of our gold parts. Actually, not the rest, I mean, there are more, but anyway, here's some more on runner W. And then runner V is here in clear green for the visor, and that's it for the regularly lettered runners, or I guess I shouldn't say it regularly, but English alphabet lettered runners, because then we get into Japanese alphabet, which you kind of don't necessarily need to know, so don't worry if you can't read it. But anyway, this is runner A, and it's in a clear blue. I just want to check and see if this is UV reactive, and yes, it definitely is. And on that note, let's check the clear green runner as well. I'm not really expecting it to be, it's just kind of regular clear green, but this clear blue is like highly reactive, so that'll look really cool if you have some sort of like black light or UV light that you can shine on your kit as like part of your display. That was A. This is runner E. Some more parts there in gold, weapons parts here, all basically these. Runner U, some more very nicely detailed weapons parts. Runner A and runner O are going to be here in gray. That's runner O as in like Japanese O, not like the English letter O. And lastly then runners Ka, Ki, Ku, Ke, Ko here. If you guys are unfamiliar, I mean, it sounds kind of silly, but that's how the Japanese alphabet goes. Ki, Ku, here, some more weapons parts there in gold, and then some weapons parts here in gray for the last couple runners, Ke and Ko. They're really nicely detailed though, and you can get a sense of the size of this too. This is going to be big. That's it for the runners. Let me go ahead and get this put together. I think this is going to be a really, really impressive looking kit. Let's go ahead and check it out. All right guys, now here it is all built up. Now I have to tell you, I've not built a ton of Armored Core model kits, but of all the Armored Core kit models that I've built, I have to say this is definitely the nicest Armored Core model kit that I have ever built. And what's great about this is that while the construction process was fun, straightforward, it has a good amount of parts, but not like a ton of parts. I mean, it's a big box because it's a big kit, but the construction was actually fairly quick. But more importantly, it's super detailed and actually really solid as well, which is a big improvement over some of the older Kotobukiya Armored Core model kits. And so we'll get more into that here in just a moment, but first let's go ahead and check out our included accessories, of which we have quite a lot of. And so first of all, and importantly, we do have some hand options, all of which are really nicely detailed here. Of course, we've got just these open resting hands here. We also got a nice set here of closed fists, and then weapon holding hands for the left and the right side here as well. So a nice arrangement of those. And then we've got an action-based adapter here. Now this is meant to plug up right into that little square hole right there on the underside of the waist section. Now the problem with this is that the hole is an unconventional size, basically made to go strictly with the flying base Neo available from Kotobukiya. With that hole size being around 4 millimeters, this is not going to fit with any of your Bandai action bases, so you will have to get a Kotobukiya base specifically for this one. Next up then, here on the forearms, you've got option parts here, which are going to give you a hard point there. And you've got 2, one for the left side and the right side, so it's just a matter of swapping that part here if you want to use that hard point. And of course, you will want to use that here for the sword. Now this is the collapsed version of the sword that's just going to plug right onto the side of the arm there. So pretty simple, pretty straightforward. This doesn't really do anything. We have a collapsed version, and then we have an expanded version. So it's just a matter of swapping that out. And this thing at its expanded length comes out to about 26.5 centimeters, so it's going to be a pretty sizable weapon here. Those blue effect parts looking really, really cool on there. Up next then, for the opened backpack, basically you are going to have to do some parts forming. You have to take off this section here on the back, and we're going to swap that middle section here with this open part like this, which looks really, really cool. Just to give you guys a nice close-up look at the layer and details of parts that you have inside there. And then there's some like side sections here too that are going to be kind of like not attached onto this, but that are also going to be swapped out there as well. For one of our back-mounted weapons here, this missile pod, which is going to attach onto either side. Actually, you do have that same connection arm for either the left or the right side, so you can swap it if you want, but just going by how it's meant to look, just kind of based off the manual, it's meant to be like that. And this part on the front here can be removed and swapped for this open part if you wanted to show that open there like so. Some really nice detail inside there for that. Up next then, for our handheld weaponry, we've got this smaller gun here, which is only a couple of parts, but again, some really, really nice detail on there. You are going to have a little bit of a seam line on a couple little bits here and there. Super nice design, and again, details on that. And then our larger option, much larger actually, and really nice looking gun here as well, with the gold and the gray mixed there for some nice color separation. Now this one again has just a lot of really nice detail on there. And both of these weapons, you'll notice, have the same point here on the top, and that's for storing this onto the backpack. So we have this storage part. This part, again, actually you do have one for the left side and one for the right side, whichever you prefer, but just going off the manual, again, it's meant to go on the right side of the backpack. This is just going to plug right into there when not in use. You can store that on there and then just plug this up onto the backpack. And again, I love how even just this like connection piece, just how detailed that is, all this detail up inside there and everything just looks really, really nice. And then you've got a couple of different extra parts here for this part that actually holds the weapon. If the weapon is actually being held in hand, you can remove that part and swap this for one that's just empty. It doesn't have that big ugly tab on the inside. And so that'll just look like that when you actually have the weapon held in hand, and then this is just on the backpack without anything actually in it. So really nice attention to detail with these parts. But some great stuff there for the accessories. But as I said, one of the most notable things about this kit is just the size, of course. Just so for a quick size comparison, here's with one of Bandai's 30 minutes missions kits, which of course are definitely going to be smaller. As you can see, quite substantially smaller. And compared to Kotobukiya's Armored Core kits, there's quite a lot of variety in the size of them, just because they span different Armored Core series. But I guess compared to like Bandai's 30 minutes missions Armored Core kits, most of the older Kotobukiya kits are going to be either about the same height to a little bit taller, but definitely this one is going to be quite a bit bigger, coming in with a head height of around 23 centimeters there. And aside from the size, of course, is just the fact that it's packed with detail. That clear green part there for the visor actually catches the light quite nicely. You wouldn't really think so, but I think that looks pretty good. If you did want to wire that up with some LEDs, I think you probably would have enough space in the chest to put like a battery pack or something in there. But the wiring up like through the neck and into the head's definitely doable for those of you guys who are into adding some LEDs to your kits. So it'd be pretty cool to see, and then having some maybe LEDs like coming out some like vents here in the chest, something like that too, some light coming out of there. It'd be pretty awesome. But as far as the articulation goes here, as you can see with the head, can go up pretty far there, down to there, and then obviously side to side. The torso here doesn't bend side to side, but you do have a pretty good ab crunch here forward and back. I actually have it bent all the way forward already. Then it'll go back to there and then forward to there. So if it's bent all the way back and then the head's all the way up, like if you want to do like a flying or dashing pose like that, you can actually get the head pretty far up with the combination of the articulation of the torso upwards like that, for doing a really nice, convincing, like I said, flying or dashing pose there. The articulation of the shoulder will allow the arm to come up really far there like that. Very nice. We have a rotation point there at the top of the arm, and then our elbow joint is gonna be a little bit limited to about 90 degrees there, it would seem. Down here at the hip section, the legs can come pretty far out to the side there, and then obviously forward and back. Articulation is not really gonna be limited by anything. There at the hips, the legs have a couple points of articulation here, 2 points here and here. That will allow a bend between like the thigh part and the knee part. And then below the knee, this part down here. Now this piston is not an actual working piston part. It's just kind of there as a fixed part, but you do have a bend right there. And then obviously the ankles here, we have forward and back bend a little bit, but more importantly too, a pretty nice angle there to the side for a good wide stance on that. And then up underneath the feet, full detail there too, of course. So we also have these sections here on the side of the leg that are just attached via a ball joint, so those will move around. You are going to want to be careful because you don't want to like lay this down and then just kind of damage those very sharp pointy tips there on the end. These thruster units here on the back are also attached via ball joints, so those can be wiggled around a little bit there as well. And the main thing is just pay attention to all this level of detail that you have everywhere on this kit. Everywhere, just kind of inside, outside, all this really beautiful detail that you have going on. It's just really, really nice. And so as we're taking a look at this kit in a few poses here to wrap up the review, if you're an Armored Core fan, I really can't recommend this kit to you enough. Like I said before, I gotta say this is the nicest Armored Core model kit I think that I've built. It really combines the level of detail that you want, as well as just a really nice, comfortable size, I think, and a really good looking size, especially when you have a really detailed model and it's really small. It's kind of harder to appreciate all that detail there, but in this, because it's a nice big kit, you can really appreciate all that really nice detail that you have going on with it, even just straight out of the box. I mean, I haven't done anything to this at all. It looks great. So if you were to go in and actually pen align some of those sections there, add a little bit of weathering, add, top coat. I mean, I kind of like the sort of metallic look that you have of this straight out of the box, you could definitely dull that back quite a bit by adding a matte coat if you wanted to go for a matte finish on this, or you could kind of bump up the metallic finish by giving it a gloss coat, would kind of give it an even more kind of glossy metallic sort of look to it. So you could kind of go a little bit either way with it, whether you wanted it to look more metallic and shiny or a little bit more kind of roughed up and a little bit more kind of realistic looking, I guess. So an absolutely beautiful kit. And as I mentioned too before about just like how nice and solid it is too, I built a number of Kotobukiya's older Armored Core kits and they're really nice, but they do tend to be a little bit finicky. They have a ton of parts, which is great. They're super detailed, but you will have little bits that like to fall off or just that would need gluing. With this kit, I haven't had any issues where I thought like, oh, it's probably would be a good idea to glue this part here. Everything's really solid on this, really good fit, of course, nice range of articulation for the size. I wish the kit would have included some kind of display base in it. Obviously, it's already a pretty pricey kit on its own that only would have added to the price, but I think it would be nice. That said, if you guys do want to have this up on a base, as I mentioned before, you are going to need Kotobukiya's Flying Base Neo, or you're just going to have to make something on your own. But either way, guys, just really impressed by this kit. Definitely looking forward to seeing some more out in this line from Kotobukiya. You know, Armored Core is not a series that I'm as into as other series like Gundam, etc., but this line is definitely one that I surely enjoyed from this release, and I'm definitely looking forward to checking out some more in the future for sure. But if you guys have any other further questions about the kit, do feel free to let me know in the comment section. Let me know what you think about the kit in the comment section there too. Are you guys as impressed with what you've seen of it as I am? If you have the kit already, if you've built it, let me know your thoughts on it there as well. If you would like to get the kit or any other kits from Armored Core or Kotobukiya or Bandai or whatever, you can check the link in the video description there, right down there below the video, to USA Gundam Store. We've got all sorts of great stuff there on the site for you guys to check out, as well as paints, tools, supplies, all that good stuff there as well. So check out that link. And as always, guys, just thanks so much for checking out the video here today. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to leave a like. If you're not yet subscribed, you can subscribe there as well. I appreciate your support. Thank you so much. Until next time, hope you all are doing well. I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.